My ex owes child support, so I let him miss his flight. Now he says I kidnapped our kids. So I, 32F, have been divorced from my ex-husband, 35M, for just over 2 years. We have 2 kids together, an 8-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter. Our marriage started out like a dream. He was charming, thoughtful, the kind of guy who'd remember anniversaries and make pancakes on Saturdays. But things changed and fast after our daughter was born. It was like something inside him flipped. He became emotionally distant, dismissive, and angry. I tried to hang in there for the kids, for the idea of a whole family. But it all came crashing down when I found out he was cheating on me. After that, I filed for divorce. It wasn't easy. He fought me on everything: custody, finances, even stupid things like who got the blender. It dragged on for over a year. Eventually, I was granted primary custody of both kids, and he was ordered to pay child support. And spoiler alert, he never has. Not a single payment. Now, I'm fortunate enough that I don't rely on his support to survive. I got a solid job, I can pay the bills, and I even save a little for the kids' future. But still, I enrolled in child support enforcement because, hey, that money is legally owed to our children, and it would be nice to put it toward their college savings or future needs. But here's the kicker. He doesn't pay, not because he can't, but because he wants control. He's self-employed, so there's no easy way to garnish his wages, and he knows it. Withholding support is his way of trying to punish me for ending the marriage. I know this because he said it out loud, like in real words. The state, however, doesn't play games. Since he owes thousands in back child support, they've suspended just about everything they can, including, as I later found out, his passport. They've sent him notices, but he never opens his mail. I know this because he's told me proudly that he doesn't have time for that government crap. Now, here's where things start heating up. Earlier this year, my grandmother passed away. Most of my extended family still lives abroad. I'm a first-generation American, and I want to take the kids to visit them and see her resting place. Just a meaningful family trip, quiet, healing. But because I share custody, I need his written permission to take the kids out of the country. That's the law where we live. We went back and forth for a bit. He tried to guilt-trip me, saying I was trying to erase his side of the family, or some nonsense like that. But eventually, he agreed to sign, though not without making it weird. He casually mentioned that he'd also be going on vacation. And what a coincidence. He'd be traveling to the same country at the same time. This isn't new. Every time I take the kids on a trip, he either tries to join or show up. It's never planned together. More like him following us around and making scenes. So this time, I had my lawyer draft a notarized document with specific dates, his consent, and a clause that stated he could revoke his permission only up to 72 hours before a flight. After that, he couldn't legally interfere. He signed it. Fast forward to our departure day. I got to the airport with the kids 3 hours early. Everything was going perfectly. We were through security, grabbing breakfast, just enjoying a peaceful moment before the flight. That's when the phone rang. It was my ex. His voice was frantic. He just found out that his passport was revoked due to unpaid child support, and the airline denied him check-in. He was livid. He accused me of knowing this would happen, said I tricked him and ruined his vacation. I calmly told him that I had no idea his passport was suspended, and even if I had, it wasn't my job to warn him. Then came a bombshell. He said, well, if I'm not going, then you're not taking the kids either. He claimed he was revoking his consent and was going to report me for kidnapping. I reminded him that the 72-hour revocation period had passed and we were legally good to go. I told him he could do whatever he thought was necessary. Sure enough, about 20 minutes later, 2 officers showed up at our gate. They asked me a few questions. I handed them the notarized travel document, complete with a signature and the clause about the revocation window. The officers nodded, thanked me, and walked away. We boarded the plane. As soon as we were in the air and I had airplane mode on, I finally had a moment to breathe. But he wasn't done. He couldn't get a hold of me. So he called my brother, who, unfortunately, is still friends with him. Apparently, he unloaded everything on my brother, who then decided to call me a few hours later and tell me that I was cruel for not warning my ex about his passport, that I should have said something just to avoid all this drama. I told him flat out, he's not my responsibility. I'm not his secretary, and I'm not his mother. My mom agrees. She actually told my brother to butt out, that my ex is a grown man, and if he's going to ignore legal notices and dodge child support, that's on him. But now a few extended family members, who aren't even part of the situation, are siding with my brother, saying I should have just given him a heads up. Here's the thing. I never confirmed that his passport was revoked. I only suspected it might be, based on how far behind he was on support, but I didn't know for sure. And again, even if I had, I'm not responsible for managing the consequences of his decisions. We weren't going on this trip together. This wasn't a family vacation. This was my trip with my kids. He was tagging along for who knows what reason. His inability to travel had no effect on my plans, legally or logistically. At the end of the day, I think he's just embarrassed, not only because he got denied at the airport, but because he realized his control tactics don't work anymore. He can't hold child support over me, and he can't make me beg. He lost the power, and now he's lashing out. But Reddit, I've been questioning myself just a little. Was I really that wrong not to warn him?